Well, you know, not everyone can keep up with all the news from this week. That's why CBS News Colorado has gathered stories that topped our website from the last 5 days. Here's a look at some of the stories that garnered the most interest on CBSColorado.com. Olivia Young is your reporter in Douglas County. She reports that many residents there are concerned about a proposed development in an unincorporated part of the county. They worry the new 530-acre project, which includes 1,800 homes and a resort hotel, will further stress the town's infrastructure and also increase traffic. The town is also opposed to the project in part because of their plans for the water supply.
Obviously, we're concerned about them developing solely off of non-renewable groundwater.
The Planning Commission recommended lowering the water standard on Monday. County commissioners will meet next month to discuss this proposal. A jury finds former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters guilty on 7 of the 10 counts in her trial. It's centered around election misinformation. Now, the jury deliberated 4 hours before announcing its verdict. They found Peters guilty of influencing a public servant and official misconduct, but did not find her guilty of identity theft or conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation. We heard reactions from Colorado officials shortly afterward.
The message this verdict sends is that we will not tolerate anyone who tries to compromise Colorado's elections.
Peters was accused of allowing someone to break into her county's election system in 2021. Attorney General Phil Weiser released a statement on Monday saying the verdict should be a warning to others. In Loveland, a 55-year-old man accused of throttling a teenager inside a restaurant has turned himself in. Loveland police tell us Lucas Kalisher turned himself in yesterday after an incident that happened at an In-N-Out around 1 in the morning on August 4th. A 15-year-old boy told police that he accidentally splashed water on a woman while he was goofing off. The teen told police he went over to apologize. That's when police say Kalisher, who was with the woman, grabbed the teen by the neck, pulled his face to the table and threw him down to the ground. Kalisher is now charged with second-degree strangulation and child abuse. A jury delivered guilty verdicts on 35 of 38 counts in the sexual assault case of cardiologist Stephen Matthews. In a Denver courtroom on Tuesday, Matthews cried while the judge read the guilty verdicts. He was accused of drugging and sexually assaulting women he met on dating apps between 2019 and 2023. His sentencing is now expected to happen in October. Hundreds of tenants at an apartment complex in Aurora were forced to move out this week. The city declared the Fitzsimmons apartments unlivable due to poor conditions and code violations. The apartments are located near 16th and Nome, just north of Colfax. The city says its efforts to work with property management would go nowhere. Your reporter Jasmine Arenas spoke with residents as they prepared to leave and tells us it's been a tough week for the community.
Boxes, plastic bags full of belongings outside the declining complex as residents put up one last fight. Many feeling taken advantage of and on eviction day still clueless of where they will go next.
Police treated us like dogs. We're not animals. We were paying rent.
Emily Moran and her son are just one of many tenants who are waiting to get approved for a hotel voucher.
I'm so thankful for the organizations because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be getting help.
It's a sentiment echoed by her neighbor, Jorge Antonio, who had to leave his home of 6 years.
Are you scared that you may not find a place?
Of course I do, because I don't want to be homeless.
Several nonprofits stepped in to help residents, but had to do so in just a few days.
It's also not enough time for community orgs like EC3 to apply for rental assistance, apply for security deposit, to get hotel vouchers sorted. It's not enough time for anyone involved.
The city declined an extension, citing they're operating under city code and the conditions of the property are far too dire to allow that.
In the coming weeks, who knows? We'll have to rent a U-Haul again, presumably.
People like Sophia Jaley showing up to be a good Samaritan. Showing us a U-Haul she rented out to help residents place their belongings in storage, inspired by her own lived experience.
I think just having been left on my own, not in nearly as dire of a situation, but having lived a community that I thought or hoped would be there and weren't there, and then how much easier it was when they were.
One of the residents forced out of the complex filed a class action lawsuit against landlords and won his case. He's demanding owners take responsibility for housing former tenants. On Wednesday, a judge ruled the landlords will have to provide housing for former tenants for at least 14 days. The lawyer for that resident says landlords are legally required to provide housing.
They have a right under Colorado's warranty of habitability statute to be provided with alternative housing by the landlords. And they have a right to seek damages for being subjected to these conditions over the last several years.
A hearing on the case is scheduled for next Wednesday. For a more in-depth look of these stories and the rest of the news you may have missed this week, you can visit our website at cbscolorado.com.